Hello, everybody. It is 6 o'clock, and we are live tonight. And we're actually going to be live between two different venues, and that is we're going live on Facebook, and we're also going live on YouTube. Which welcome aboard. We've got a live Let's Talk Mondays, so we're grateful that you are with us today. Looks a little awkward on YouTube. I wish I could bring it down some, but we're going to just go on with what we got. All right, let's see if that's a little better. Okay, be sure to hit the like button so I know that you're on with me tonight and I can. All right, and Facebook is coming up in just a moment. I think we are live. All right, we got our Facebook audience and we do have our uh, YouTube audience as well. And I certainly want you to submit a message to me if you can see me, if you can hear me. Please let me know. Same thing with my YouTube audience. Be sure to let me know that you can see me and that you can hear me. All right, so good evening to you. It is a Let's Talk Monday show. We are live. We are multicasting today for a very quick broadcast. We're going to have our first show. We took off the month of July because I needed to take a break, and I am currently a student as well, so I needed time to kind of make sure that I was in alignment there. And so I see my sister is on. Hello, Kendi. Hey, thanks for logging on. And of course, be sure to like and share so that others can know that we're live both on YouTube as well as on Facebook. But tonight we're going to be talking about a very, very, very important topic. I was stunned. I was overtaken by some statistics that I heard about, and I wasn't too pleased about it. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. It involves the topic of family. So please share, like, tell somebody that I'm on live. Probably even send out a poll that I want everybody to participate in if possible. So definitely let me know. I'm actually sitting here with my mom. She is so zoned out from what I'm doing. So so she is like, I have nothing to do with this. But anyway, I certainly am grateful to be able to share with you tonight. So definitely send me a message. Let me know that you can hear me, that you can see me, and we will continue with our discussion tonight. And the topic is going to be called family ties. Family ties. So hopefully you will get something out of it. I actually recorded this earlier today, and let me tell you something. Technology is wonderful, but when it does not work, you're in trouble. Okay. So I was recording it, and I got to the very last part of it, and lo and behold, my phone died, and it said the phone is too hot, so it just dropped. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. So anyway, if you're just tuning in, hi Therese, thanks so much for tuning in. And of course, be sure to like and share. And anyone else that is tuning in, we thank you for listening. This is the Let's Talk Monday show live tonight. I am multi broadcasting. I am broadcasting on both YouTube as well as Facebook. So if you are on either platform, please let me know that you are on. But as I mentioned, I recorded my topic already, and I cannot air it because it sounds like that's what it sounds like. So I couldn't air it because it was all broken. So I only could do live tonight. So anyway, tonight's topic, of course, it will be recorded, so you can roll back, check with the broadcast again later. But anyway, tonight's topic is all family ties. I heard some startling statistics, and it had to do with families not gathering as much. The numbers are down, they're decreasing, that families are not gathering as much, especially or in particular African American families. We're not doing the family reunions as much, we're not doing the gatherings, and we're talking almost half, almost 50% from how at one time that was the norm. People had family reunions, and people are just not doing it anymore. So there are several reasons for that, and I will tell you right now, I am not a licensed counselor or minister or anything, so I'm not going to try to tell you anything that is going to cause you to get off track, but I am going to give you some things to consider because I have been super blessed to have both of my families to be able to come together at some point on a consistent basis, and I can at least give you from just pure experience and exposure that it is possible for your family to still have a peaceful or a civil meeting, gathering, and just everyday ongoing relationships. But it does take one of the three things that I'm going to talk about tonight. And I see that I have Pastor Jordan on tonight. Hello, Pastor Jordan. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for listening. Yes, family gatherings are very important, but it takes some things for you to make that happen. And I'm just going to pull from basically what I've actually seen my family do or my families do. We just celebrated my mother's mom, 101st birthday. Yes, 101. She just celebrated. And had I had my normal tools of recording, I was going to show you a little clip of the celebration. But we came together, and it was so nice to see her family, a lot of her relatives, also be able to attend, which are some of her siblings' children. And then, of course, to see her children, all of her children were able to be a part of the event. And then she had her grandchildren, and we just had a really nice time. But it takes some work to get there. It's not an automatic thing. I have to be totally honest with you. Every family has some interesting people in it, okay? And it's not always the easiest. Everybody's personality does not always blend and does not always gel, but you have to be taught how to connect and build relationships. Relationships have to be built. They're not just automatic. And it starts really young, because if you don't teach your children to love each other and to have respect for the family. I just heard a preacher over the weekend say that he got suspended when he was a young man, and his dad came to the school and jacked him up against the wall one day. And he told him, he asked him a question. He said, "What is your name?" And he said his name, and his dad said, "No, that's not your name." And he said, "Say your full name." And he said his full name. He said, "Do you know that every time you walk in a room, you're not just representing yourself, you're representing the ancestors before you, or your family. So your name means something. So you're not just your own being. You're representing a lot of other people. So therefore, there's a lot at stake when you come into this world and you go into a place. You're representing your family. So whether you like them or not, you're representing them. And so I got 3 tips for you tonight that will help you, you know, navigate through some of the things that may be helpful for you. So again, this is Let's Talk Monday. I'm your host, Sherrie Roberts. And of course, we're live tonight. I don't think I've done a live Let's Talk Monday, but I am on both YouTube as well as Facebook. So if I'm looking back and forth, it's because I've got 2 different devices going, and just trying to make sure I'm keeping up. And I want to say hello to everybody that's joining. You can like and share. Please let people know that I am on live with a very important topic. I think family is extremely important. It doesn't matter what race or background. I just think family is very important. Even God himself has, designed family to continue what his creation is. And so, whether you're not a subscriber to Christianity or to faith or what have you, and we're going to talk about that too, it's still true that family is important. So tonight, let's start with the first topic, and that is communication. Boy, if I had my other tool, I'd have my words up and everything, but you're just going to have to listen tonight, like old school. Anyway, communication. You have to learn how to communicate. A lot of things happen in families. A lot of things happen sometimes when you're young, sometimes in the process of life, making transitions, life transitions. Families have to communicate. If you don't talk about what is affecting you or what you've seen or even just some ideas you have, how are people to know? You know, you can't assume. I think a lot of times families assume because we're common, we get common with each other, or sometimes there are assumptions made about aunt whoever or grandma or maybe some things you've heard, like say heard through the grapevine. You never really knew that person. You never really knew that. You just assumed because we have the same last name, we share common thoughts. But that's not true. You have to communicate. You have to talk. Um, every year, one of my dad's family plans a family reunion. Well, every 2 years. My dad's family has done that since I've been born. They've had family reunions every other 2 years. But do you know, in order for that to happen, you got to communicate. You can't just say, "Oh, I want my family to do that." Well, you have to talk about it. You have to be prepared to plan. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because there's a process to that. But you have to learn how to communicate with one another, especially if there are things that hurt you or things that bother you, things that trouble you. You need to talk to someone. And I would even go as far to say, and I mentioned earlier, I'm not a licensed counselor or minister or anything, but just from experience from, I think, two families that have just set the bar so well, I believe, I give credit to them a lot for their consistency. Um, Sometimes you will need to bring in a professional counselor or either a spiritual leader to kind of help resolve some of the things that have happened over time. Some things go very deep, and one person it may not affect them, and another person it may affect them greatly. So it requires communication. So if families can continue to talk and to interact, and the gatherings that you have should involve at some point there should be, you can have your fun times and your barbecues. Black people particularly, we like barbecues and fish fries and all of that. But sometimes there might be a time where you need to come together. Big mama might need to gather the family around and have some talks. Even to just, may not be any problems, but you might need to just say what needs to come about. What are you looking for in your family? What vision do you have for your family? What are some family things you need to pass on? There might be some information that older children or older siblings need to know so that the future generation can go on. But that will not happen if you don't talk about it. That won't happen if you don't communicate it. And if it's like my dad, you're going to write things down. So please write things down so that when you lose those elder ones that have all the information about the family past and the history, please communicate with one another. Don't hold back. Let your family members know. And I'm speaking kind of broadly, but if you go to a professional counselor or someone, they can really unwind and help you unload what needs to be known. There may be some things that you need to know. If there's some things held back, some property or some, some family history. I just heard another statistic about physical health. Some of you are having physical problems, but if you knew that this was in the family line, then you could possibly get some help. You probably could have prevented some things, but you've got to be able to talk about those things. So communication is very, very important in families. Okay. Hi, Miss Renee. Hi, Anithiet. How are you? And good evening. Thank you so much for logging on. I am on two different sources tonight, both on YouTube, my normal channel, SLR Pros, PROS, or on Facebook tonight. So we're talking about family ties, and I love all the comments and, hearts, likes, whatever, and also like and share so that you can tell them that we are live tonight on Let's Talk Mondays, talking about family. It's funny that I wanted to talk about this subject anyway, and we just happened to have a family gathering for my grandmother's 100th and first birthday. So I'm really excited about this topic. And the time that it's wrapped around. So the first one is communication. So let's move on to the second one. The second one is faith. Oh boy. Some people, now my family, I just happen to have a family that are both Christian on both sides. Now there are other people, now denominations may be a little different. You have some that are one denomination, some are other denominations, some are non-affiliated. So I do have diversity within the families, but primarily, they subscribe to Christianity. So, we believe in Jesus Christ, we believe in, God, what have you. And we know that a lot of families don't have that history, they don't have that history, but you need to have faith. You need to believe. You need to believe not only in just God, and I know, we trust me, we believe in the Lord Jesus, hey, but you need to have faith in your family as well. You need to believe in one another. Who better to believe in you than your family, than your family members? That's one of the reasons why it's important that you come together and that you have those talks, because how can I pour into you and invest in you if I don't know you? I don't know what you got going on. I don't know that you're having a hard time. I don't know that you're wanting to build a business. I don't know that you got difficult children that you're trying to raise, and all you need is, you might need aunt somebody or uncle somebody or whatever right in your family that could give you the information that you need to help you through whatever that situation is. And sometimes we're struggling and we're looking for help, and our help is right there among the people who are related to us. And those of us that are related to people that are having issues, we might need to be more attentive and be able to help those who are struggling. When I traveled to Israel, it was a shame. They said that in Israel, it was a shame. If you had a family member that was on the streets, like on homeless people and stuff, you very seldom saw homeless people. Now, you saw people, kind of hustling and whatever. But when you saw homeless people, you didn't see homeless people because it was embarrassing. It was a shame. If you had a family member, you took them in and it's like covering them. And we need to be like that with our family. We should not. It's a big responsibility. It's a big responsibility, especially if they have other issues going on. But somebody in the family should be able to help and assist that person that is struggling and needs that guidance. Sometimes we're reaching out can you imagine if every family member, helped their own people? Probably wouldn't have that many people stranded, because they would have somewhere to go. They would have someone they can confide in. Not every homeless person is homeless because they want to. Sometimes such situations and circumstances have led them down a certain path and they're not able to get back. So it's important that we exercise faith so that we can help them to believe once again. And this is where our love walk comes in, so that we can help our loved one get back to where they need to be. Why? Because they are a representative of your family. They represent you. So though you may be at a place in life where you're doing well, if your family member is struggling, they're gonna say, the first thing they're gonna say, who is his mom? Who is his dad? Who is his family? So we have a responsibility to help to the best of our ability. Sometimes all we can do is pray. Sometimes, and my pastor gets at us about saying having prayer as a last resort. We should pray all the time. The Bible says pray without ceasing. But sometimes that's what our offering is. We don't really know what else at the time, and hopefully our prayers will enable us to get the answers we need so that we can know what to do. So whatever part you play is important for your family, and it starts with having faith. So you can believe God for what it is that you can do, and then of course put that faith to work. Not just say, oh, I believe, but see what you can do to help that family member, help your family get better. I love families that try to do collaborative efforts. Sometimes you have to pull your resources together. You may not be able to do it by yourself, but you could pull your efforts together. We celebrated my grandmother together. We could have individually done our part, and we did, but the celebration was so much more meaningful because we came together to do it. So nobody has to feel like, well, this person makes good money, they got a good job, they whatever, and I don't have that. Well, if we pull together, it makes us look like one. Yeah. So we all look like one. It's kind of like the puzzle. Some puzzles look a certain shape, the other puzzle looks another shape. When you put them together, it makes that one beautiful picture. And that's what families should have. Okay. So faith is important. You got to believe somewhere. You got to believe, first of all, believe in God. Secondly, you need to believe in your family, believe in your family members. Our young people need it. Our elderly people need it. Everybody in between needs it. Your faith is important. Even with God, without faith, it's impossible to please Him. So it's very important to believe. Ask God to help your focus be a better, give you a vision for your family so that you won't see them in a light, especially if they're not in a good place. Because we all got family members that's not in a good place. But if we channel our faith into believing for their lives to get better, we will see results. All right, so that's our second one. And of course, again, we are doing Let's Talk Mondays. We're talking about family ties. And believe it or not, we're just about to wrap up. And of course, make sure to like or share. And of course, I love the comments that are sent. Thank you so much. And the last one we have is work. I mentioned that a couple of times. It takes work, nothing just happens. If you do not train your upcoming generation to respect and to love your family, they will not, or they will not prioritize it. It won't be important to them. If it's not important to you to share it and to, sometimes I don't want to go and, well, tell them, come on now, you got to meet, this person. Nobody's asking you to, if they feel uncomfortable with somebody, it's okay to tell me, okay, well, maybe you don't feel like doing all that hugging. I don't know. Sometimes you get those, a lot of hugs. Some families are huggers. They like to hug every time. And sometimes young people may not feel so comfortable with all of that, but you can speak. There's nothing wrong with you saying speak. I am so and so, especially for those of you that have family members that you don't really know very well. Sometimes that's uncomfortable for children, especially. But make sure you accommodate your children when you attend. This is just practical stuff. Accommodate your children when they're around people they don't know, places they don't know, they've never been. Be with them, comfort them, let them know this is so and so. This is where, again, communication comes in handy. And let them know this is Uncle whoever, this is da da da, what have you. Come and speak and show them you're related to whom. Be very clear with those lines, with who is related to who and how. Let them know that because it's going to be very important. So work, another part of work is uh, it's vital for you to teach them to have a work ethic also, because man, I heard somebody say if you are around 9 lazy people, he said broke people, that too, you'll be the 10th. So we have to teach our children, our young people, to have a good work ethic. Why? Because it reflects family. A part of family values is a work ethic. That's very important. And a part of working is doing, it's participating, it's in being involved, making a living. That's a part of family as well. We learn our work ethic from our family. If you were around a lot of hardworking people, 9 times out of 10, probably at an early age, you started working hard as well. So teach your children to have a good work ethic. It's going to pay off in the long run because as you show them what the importance of work and the benefits, money is one, yes, that's one, but also a sense of belonging, a pride that you have in being able to accomplish something. That is something that the family's supposed to teach that. They shouldn't have to get that from other places and other sources. They should get that from home. So if they're not getting that training from home, then it's going to be hard for them to adapt to that later because work is hard. as I mentioned earlier, it's hard when you have difficult family members and they don't quite gel very well. You have to teach them, how do I deal with uncle whoever, or aunt whoever, or cousin whoever, or or even in your home, your siblings. You got to learn how to, that's work. It doesn't come natural. You have to teach that. And so the earlier you teach it, the earlier it is that they can accept that, okay, they're different, they're a little strange. I have to maybe love them from a distance, but I can pray for them, and that's where faith comes in. I can believe God that He will help them to get through, and I can, whatever part I need to play to help and assist them getting there. And if everybody kind of adopts that mindset for their families, you will see tremendous change in the household. You'll see tremendous change in communities, and you'll see tremendous change even in our involvement in other places, such as our churches or in our schools. You'll see a lot of changes because everybody will have some sort of network that they can and support that they need. Okay, so those are three things, just three, and I'm sure we can go on and on with different layers and levels of supporting our family or having better families. Tonight's topic was family ties, and I hope that you gained something tonight. I explained the best that I could do. At least that's what I was moved to talk about tonight. And I hope that you are remaining faithful and prayerful. It's a blessing when you do have a family that is working together, even if it's small. Another thing is, don't worry about, you see some people, oh, they just got all these wonderful family members. Everything just seems to be going wonderful. Even if it's just you and your intermediate family, if you can teach and train and be a great example, perhaps you are the light, you are the example that you can set for other families. Because some people have very large families, some people have very small families. It doesn't matter the size. It's the quality of the people involved and how much you value what you have within each other. And then you can go out and be a light and example to other families. So don't give up, have hope. If you have people in your family that get on your nerves, like most of us do, at least one person, well, maybe three. That's going to be, I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you it's going to get better, but that I think that's the fun part of it. It's kind of like it's the salt and the pepper. It's kind of a good blend. The sweet and the salt. It makes you who you are. So we just have to learn how to conduct ourselves so that we can be a better example for our family. I am grateful to the Johnsons and the Roberts. I'm a part of two families that seem to work together well. I've seen them duke it out. I've seen them have it. I've seen some really bad things happen to some, and then I've seen some really good things happen to others. So I'm prayerful for you that are believing for your family. I believe that if you try and you continue to have faith and believe God and you communicate, you have to communicate it, even if you just write it down. I believe that something is going to happen good in your family. And I'd love to hear your testimonies. I just, believe that it's just time for us to start embracing what God has blessed us with. We don't choose our families, but we certainly can make a difference while we're in that family. All right, so I hope you have a great afternoon, a great evening. Let's Talk Mondays every Monday at 6 o'clock. I've been on both Facebook, and on YouTube. And I thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like and share with someone that may need to hear this. And of course, if you have information about your family that you'd like to share, certainly you could put it in my post at the bottom. And of course, we can talk about more topics on this later. But in the meantime, get counseling. If you need help, get counseling. Talk to a professional counselor. Talk to your spiritual leader. Don't give up on your family. Continue to be prayerful. Fight for your family, because you may be the one that is chosen to lead them to a better place. Have a great afternoon. Have a great evening. Join us again for Let's Talk Monday on next Monday at 6 o'clock. Good night. Very good.